Students, counselors, families, good afternoon, and thank you so much for joining us for the Virginia Virtual College Fair for all Virginia students. This program is brought to you by VACRO and StriveScan. A few housekeeping items before we begin with today's session. We are doing the 6x6 format for this program, which means that there are institutions that will be presenting for 6 minutes. In this grouping, we have 5 institutions, each one presenting for 6 minutes, and then we do have time at the very end for some Q&A, general questions for the institutions as well. Speaking of Q&A, you are encouraged throughout today's session to ask questions of the panelists. You do not need to wait for that institution that is presenting to ask your questions of that institution. So if at any point you have a question for Mary Baldwin, you can ask that question at any point. You do not need to wait for Mary Baldwin to be presenting. You ask questions via the Q&A button that you see on the bottom of your screen. When you submit a question, it gets sent to all of the panelists, and they're going to work to answer the question during this 45 minutes. If you've got a general question, you can ask generally, what's your biology program like? Tell me more about your basketball team. In that case, all 5 of my colleagues will be answering. If you have a specific question just for one institution, make sure you indicate that in your question as well. So instead of how's your biology program, say, hey, Coastal Carolina University, I'm curious about your biology program, and Coastal Carolina will respond to you directly. These are one of many different sessions that are being offered today. So we've got another 2 hours of this 6x6 college fair. We also have panel presentations next week. These are colleges talking about the essay, talking about how to visit campus virtually. All of these panel presentations can be found at strivescan.com/Virginia, as well as all the recordings from these sessions will be posted there very soon. This is our schedule for today. We are in the top right corner, A7. So first we've got Coastal Carolina, Mary Baldwin University, Hampden-Sydney College, High Point University, and Bluefield College. I encourage my colleague from Coastal Carolina, grab screen share from me, please. And as Cameron does, a reminder just to send in your questions throughout today's session via that Q&A button. And with that, Cameron, I'm going to hand it over to you.
Perfect. Thank you, Zach. Thank you, everybody, for joining with me today. My name is Cameron Gonzalez. I'm a senior admissions counselor here at Coastal Carolina University. I'm also an alum of Coastal. I got my degree in 2016 in communication, minored in marketing. We are located in Conway, South Carolina, but unless you are from the Carolinas, you probably don't know where that is. So we just say we are 9 miles from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. So more than likely, if you vacation down here, you probably have passed Coastal's campus. Our colors are teal, black, and bronze, teal representing the ocean, bronze representing the sand, and our mascot is Chauncey the Chanticleer, not the Chanticleers, most definitely not the chandeliers, but the Chanticleers. And our mascot is the only literary mascot in the entire nation. So it helps differentiate us from the rest of the crowd out there. We have just over 10,000 students on campus with 5 academic colleges and over 90 different programs to study to choose from. Some popular majors that fall under our academics in regards to majors, we have marine science, intelligence and national security, psychology, communication, business management, hospitality, resort tourism is another big one. Our Spadoni College of Education is NCATE accredited. Our business school is AACSB accredited. And here at Coastal, not only can you get a bachelor's and a master's, but we also have 2 doctorates available for students as well through the Spadoni College of Education. So you can get a PhD in education or in marine science. We have a 16-to-1 student faculty ratio. We have no lecture halls whatsoever. It's strictly going to be classroom based. So the most you'll see in a classroom is maybe 20, 25 students. And as you focus on your major, those class sizes will get a lot smaller. 79% of our faculty members do possess a doctoral or a terminal degree, which is the highest level education one can attain. So you can feel good knowing that the professors who are teaching you this stuff have the accreditation and the education to back up what they're teaching. We have over 120 clubs and organizations on campus, everything from Greek life, faith-based, SGA, club sports, you name it, more than likely we have it. We have clubs that focus on career goals, recreation, even leisure activities. So for example, we have a sea turtle club, we have a radio station, we have a Quidditch team, and we even have a hammock club, just to name a few. And yes, that's exactly what it sounds like. You hang a hammock on campus, swing back and forth, take a nap, do your homework. It is the most popular club and organization on campus, and all of our students are involved in at least one club or organization. So we do encourage you to be involved as possible. And of course, without our student involvement, we wouldn't be able to cheer on our sports teams. Here at Coastal, we have 19 Division I sports programs, and we do compete in the Sun Belt Conference. We have a lot of great titles that have come out of our program and are doing phenomenal this year. Men's soccer have been back-to-back title holders for the past 6 years. Most people remember us for the fact that we won the College World Series in 2016 in men's baseball. And out of all the teams that participated in the College World Series that year, we had the highest GPA. We also went to the NCAA tournament for men's basketball in 2013 and 2014. And currently, we are undefeated for our men's football team. This is the first for us. This is the first time, it was announced this past Sunday, where we're actually a ranked team in the nation. So we're very, very proud of that accomplishment. And our sports programs are just really strong and mighty. And our women's volleyball also are undefeated currently right now. So if you want to play a sport, definitely let me know. I can be more than happy to give you information on how to be recruited. But Coastal Carolina students come from all across the nation, all across the globe. 49% of our students are in-state, 49% are out-of-state, and 2% are international, with 76 countries represented. And we receive just over 15,000 applications each year, with about 13,000 of them being for the freshman class. Virginia is our third most popular state that we get students from. So more than likely on your first day of classes, you will be sitting next to somebody who is probably in the town just next to you. And yes, freshmen are allowed to bring vehicles to campus. Your parking pass is only $75 for the entire year. Keep in mind the numbers that you see on the screen are not our minimum, but this is that middle 50% range we want our students to shoot for. So GPA is a 3.2 to a 4.0, ACT score 19 to 24, and SAT 1022 and 1150. And something new this year we're very excited about, before COVID even happened, we were already planning on going test optional. So if you have a 3.5 GPA, weighted or unweighted, whichever is the highest, as well as a rigorous college prep program, you can apply test optional. There are only 3 majors that will require you to still take the SAT or ACT regardless of your GPA, and that's going to be marine science, intelligence and national security, or the 2+2 nursing program. On the screen, we have 20 core requirements that we look for. And keep in mind, in Virginia, I do understand some students receive a standard diploma or an advanced diploma. So if you are receiving a standard diploma, which, for example, only requires you 3 years of a math, that's all we're going to require too. We're not going to disqualify your application if you don't meet all of these core requirements. Just let me know, and let me know what the stance is, and I'll be more than happy to work with you. We're not early action. We're not early decision. We are rolling admission. So once we have a completed file for you, we can get you a decision in less than 3 weeks. All we require is that application, your high school transcript, and possibly your test scores. We don't require letters of recommendation or an essay, but I do strongly encourage you to submit them for additional consideration. And the only deadline I want you to keep in mind is December 1st, so you're automatically considered for merit awards. And there are 2 ways to apply. You can either do it through our main institutional application at coastal.edu/apply, or this year we are part of the Common App. Now, the numbers that you see up there, I put in-state and out-of-state up there because through the state of Virginia, there is what's called Academic Common Market, which is an in-state tuition savings-based program, which allows students from out-of-state to come in-state and pay the in-state tuition rate because a major is not specifically offered as often in the state of Virginia. So if you want to major in marine science, intelligence and national security, or middle-level education, you have the opportunity to pay our in-state tuition rate during your time here at Coastal. So that total at the bottom is the ballpark estimate of what you might be paying, with the housing and the meal plan options being the most expensive options. And merit awards, I mentioned before, is awarded money that we give you based off of how you do in school, and that's going to be from a rigorous standpoint. So we're looking at your test scores, your GPA, your class rank, your involvement. We're also looking at your letters of recommendation, writing samples, essays, all of that, and those are going to range from 15% to 60% tuition coverage. As long as you maintain the requirements, this is renewable every single year. Anyways, that is the rest of my presentation. This is my contact information for you to refer to in the future. Thank you so much for letting me talk with you guys today. And if you want to visit campus, we are doing in-person campus tours Monday through Friday at 9:30 a.m. and 2 p.m. You just need to register in advance.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Cameron, for sharing that information about Coastal Carolina University. A reminder, we're in the A7 session top right. So Mary Baldwin University, feel free to grab screen share from me, Mary Baldwin, and get ready for your presentation, Autumn. And as Autumn is taking screen share, a reminder, you can ask your questions at any point. You don't need to wait for that specific institution to ask those questions. And everything, Autumn, looks great. I'm going to hand it over to you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So like Mr. Zach said, my name is Autumn Leitner, and I'm the admissions counselor here at Mary Baldwin University. So what I want to talk to you a little bit about is Mary Baldwin, and then we'll go into our admissions process and our financial aid process. So I want to start off with what's really important to us at Mary Baldwin, and that's our students. Our goal is to help you find your fit. And as you can see here, Michaela is a student who found hers. Michaela works in our admissions office and is a leader in other places on campus too. Michaela left us with a quote talking about insecurities she faced in middle school and high school, and how she always felt like she was sitting in the back of the classroom. At Mary Baldwin, Michaela felt like she had her own voice, became an independent student, and got the confidence to speak up. This was a really cool opportunity for Michaela because she was able to connect with a faculty professor who was able to get her a job on campus and make really strong connections there. So by putting our students First, Mary Baldwin wants to take what you learn in class and apply it to the real world. We have wonderful academic opportunities and leadership opportunities. As early as your freshman year, you can do an internship. In your senior year, we encourage you to do a capstone experience. Capstone is published work that you do through a research project. At Mary Baldwin, you work one-on-one with the professor to do this. We have Division III athletics, and we have a great Center for Student Success. Our Center for Student Success is broken down into 3 parts. The first part is our tutoring center. So you can be a tutor and get paid, or you can get tutored for free. We offer a tutoring in every class that we have on campus. We also have a quantitative center. One thing we discovered is that students struggle with math, myself included. This is something that I remember struggling with in high school and in college. Our quantitative center is designed to help students understand math and to put math in classes that aren't just math related classes. We also have a Vantage Point, which is our professional and personal development. They work with students from freshman year all the way to senior year, from internships to resume building and job search. We also have over 50 clubs and organizations on campus. One thing that's cool about Mary Baldwin is that there's a club that we don't currently have and you're interested in, you have the capability to start that. So Mary Baldwin is a small university located in Stanton, Virginia. We are 1 block away from downtown Stanton, which was voted one of America's best main streets and best small towns in America. Mary Baldwin is a very ethnically diverse campus. Our class of 2022 had 58% students of color, and our campus is represented by students from 39 states and 6 different countries. Mary Baldwin offers over 50 majors and minors, as well as 11 graduate degree programs. We have roughly 1,000 undergrad students, and our average class size is 17, with a 11-to-1 student to faculty ratio. With class sizes this small, our goal is to help make sure you're a great fit at the university, all while finding your calling here. We are proud to offer 4 very distinctive programs for women at Mary Baldwin. The first one is our College for Women, which is a unique program available exclusive to young women. This is a program that builds and strengthens and develops leadership skills here at Mary Baldwin. Our second program is VWEL, also known as Virginia Women's Institute for Leadership. This is the nation's only all-female Corps of Cadets. We do also have men's ROTC here. We partner with VMI, and students graduate as an officer in any branch of the military. The third program I want to talk to you is our program for the exceptionally gifted. This is a program for 13-year-old girls who are looking to skip high school, go to college early, and earn a 4-year degree. Our last program is our Ida B. Wells. This is a community of women of African descent who want to explore cultural identity, leadership, and civic engagement. So a little bit about our admissions process. We are rolling admissions, which means that within 2 weeks, you'll have a decision. Our application is free and can be found on the Common App and on our website. We're looking for mostly A's and B's on your high school transcripts, and we are test optional this year due to COVID. All right, so for our financial aid, we offer merit-based scholarships to students between $16,000 and $22,000 a year, and this is based off of your high school GPA. We also have 95% students that do receive additional financial aid or scholarships. And a few other things about Mary Baldwin, we have 2 great dining halls on campus, as well as a lot of restaurants that are 1 block away from downtown Stanton. We have a ton of coffee shops downtown and a lot of community activities, a lot of festivals that students are encouraged to attend in. And something about Mary Baldwin that's very special is that we are #MBU family. From the moment you step foot on campus, you get to know professors, you get to know classmates, you get to know the staff that works here, and you get to know the community. And everybody feels like one big family when they're here. So that concludes our presentation. I look forward to speaking with you after.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Autumn, for sharing that information. Let me pull up the schedule here. Again, we're in this A7 session here. So next up, we've got Hampden-Sydney College. So as Marshall grabs screen share for me, just a reminder to the students, feel free to send your questions in through the Q&A, and the college reps will answer them during the session and at the end. Marshall, everything looks great. Go ahead and take it away.
Thanks, Zach. What's up, y'all? My name is Marshall McClung. I currently serve as Associate Dean of Admission and Digital Media at Hampden-Sydney College. I graduated back in 2011. Love the college to death. I hold it really close to my heart. And I'll tell you, I'm not going to give you a bunch of the basic stuff that you might get. That's probably going to be on our website: application deadlines, financial aid information, majors we offer, like all that stuff kind of goes in one ear, out the other. I want to tell you a little bit about what makes us the special little place that we are. But if you do have questions, again, pop them in the Q&A, shoot me a text. I'm going to put up my phone number at the end. But our website is hsc.edu. Hit that up. You know, you can find everything you need there. A little bit about us, though. A couple quick facts. We are the 10th oldest college in the nation. We were founded November 10th, 1775, and we were founded with one mission, and that was to form good men and good citizens. You can see these two old dudes with fancy hair. That's John Hampden and Hampden-Sydney. Those are our namesakes. They were two British revolutionaries who fought against the royal crown. So anyway, our mission hasn't changed in 245 years, which I think is really cool, but we have also remained a college for men. So we are one of 3 remaining men's colleges in the US, and we are located in the heart of Virginia. Think of Virginia as a bullseye, as a dartboard. We are the bullseye, right? So we're very close to everything. We're 2 hours from the mountains, we're 2.5 hours from the beach. We're about 3 hours from DC. You can get to Raleigh in about 2 hours. So Charlottesville, I think, is an hour and a half. I mean, we're very close to everything, but we are also tucked in the middle of the woods. We're in Farmville, Virginia. So our campus is very rural. But again, you're going to get to know the people on that campus very well. I think at Hampton-Sydney, we are obviously going to teach you how to think critically. We're going to teach you how to write well. We're going to teach you how to speak well. It is a very rigorous academic curriculum. But we also think at Hampton-Sydney that when you graduate, going into a solid alumni network can be very beneficial. So I want to talk about a couple of my friends. This is Kirk Zambetti. Kirk graduated in the late 80s. He works for a small little cooler company you may have heard of. He's currently the senior VP of sales at Yeti Coolers. Or maybe this guy. This is Ronald Johnson, or Ron John, as I knew him at Hampton-Sydney. Great dude. Ron John is currently the GM for global basketball at Converse Sneakers. Or maybe this guy. This is Rob Citrone. Rob, when he graduated, he started up a small little hedge fund. He is now a billionaire with a capital B. Just gave a $6 million gift to the college to help support our Compass program, which is our experiential learning program. He is also a part owner of the Pittsburgh Steelers, which I think is pretty cool. This guy, Lane Ford, maybe some of you are watching this on an Apple device. Maybe you're watching it on your iPhone. The iPhone exists the way it does today because Lane is a creative director at Apple and worked on the original iPhone design. This is Warren Thompson. Warren helped found and is currently the CEO of Thompson Hospitality. It is the second largest minority-owned food provider in the country, and they provide our food on campus. So we got a guy looking out. And this guy, this is Jared Ficklin. Jared was a good buddy of mine in college. If you're a golf fan, unlike me, maybe you saw the most recent Tiger Woods documentary. That was produced by Jared. He's like 30 years old, making movies for the Golf Channel. Really cool. The reason I bring up all these guys is because we have alumni who are doing very cool things. And those 6 or 7 guys are just a very small handful. The thing that you need to know, though, is that we have the second best alumni network in the country. So when you graduate from Hampton-Sydney, you're going to have connections to people like those guys. And those guys are going to be willing to look out for you. So keep that in mind as you go through the process. Real quickly, we have an experiential learning program on campus called Compass, which also helps tie into that alumni network because we require that our students either study abroad for a semester, do an internship for a semester, or focus on a research opportunity on campus. Regardless, we want our guys to get hands-on experience, not just in the classroom, but out of the classroom as well. At Hampton-Sydney, we have a writing program that no other college in the country has the way that we do it. It's called rhetoric. Every student at Hampton-Sydney has to take 2 semesters of rhetoric where they're going to learn how to write well, speak well, communicate effectively. We think it is the most important thing that every college graduate can do, and we require that every student pass a proficiency exam in order to graduate from the college. So you're going to come out pretty well spoken when you leave Hampton-Sydney. A little bit about athletics. About a quarter of our guys participate. We are in a Division III. We're in the ODAC conference, the Old Dominion Athletic Conference. But of our guys who don't play at the competitive level, about 80% or so are participating either in club sports or IM sports. So whether it's on the field, you're cheering on our football team on homecoming Saturday, or whether it's in Kirby Fieldhouse yelling at the basketball team to shoot more threes. We are very active athletically, as you may expect. If maybe that isn't your thing, the outdoors are really big at Hampton-Sydney as well. We have over 1,000 acres of land. We just finished a new high ropes course with a zip line that goes over one of our ponds. We have 3 ponds on campus that students can fish. So we have a lot of avid outdoorsmen, hunters, fishers, that type of thing. Biking trails, walking trails. Again, we're in the middle of the woods, so we've leaned into it. I think the thing that really makes Hampton-Sydney the place that it is, though, is the brotherhood. It's the bond that you're going to form with your peers over those 4 years, but it is a lifelong thing. So the guys that you meet your freshman year, those are the guys that you graduate with 4 years later and connect with, for the rest of your life. We do have fun. I will say girls are allowed on campus, so feel free to invite your friends from high school back to campus. We do a winter formal and that type of thing. Apply. Come see us in person. We've got a video tour on YouTube, so check that out. It's me talking for 20 minutes. And then this is my information and a cool little website. So pop onto the Swagger blog and see what we're cooking up there. My email address, cell phone number. Thank you guys for coming. Have a great night.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Marshall, for sharing that information about Hampton-Sydney. Next up, we've got High Point University. We're again in the top right. High Point, feel free to grab screen share from me. And as Melissa does, a reminder, use that Q&A and send your questions into the reps. And I'm going to hand it over to Melissa.
Yes. Hi, everybody. My name is Melissa Blakeney. I am the admissions counselor for High Point in Virginia. A little bit about High Point area. We're located in the city of High Point, which is part of the Piedmont Triad, which is kind of right in the middle of North Carolina. We're a smaller private liberal arts university with just under 5,000 undergraduate students. With that, we have about 60 majors and about 64 minors to choose from for our students, and our top 10 freshman majors are listed here, and you'll see that undeclared is actually the top major for students to come in. And I know you're thinking that's not a major, but the reason we say that is because the majority of our freshman class does come in not knowing what they want to major in, and that is okay. We have a great program called Project Discovery to help you figure that out. As for our academic facilities, we have some amazing state-of-the-art facilities. First one up being our Human Biomechanics and Physiology Lab, which is sponsored by Adidas. So if you're an exercise science or physical therapy major, you will be able to use that lab and actually treat some of our Division I athletes in there. We have a cane conservatory, which is absolutely beautiful with amazing plants inside, a classroom that's attached to it, as well as a cafe, one of my favorite places on campus. And then our Culp Planetarium, which is the background in this picture, absolutely gorgeous, one of the larger ones in North Carolina. We have news and radio studios for our broadcasting major students, and the BB&T Executive Boardroom, sponsored by BB&T, to help our students practice with presenting to boardroom style rooms instead of just that classroom style. As for our education, we have a 15-to-1 student faculty ratio with an average class size of about 17, and 100% of our classes are taught by faculty. So that means you will never be taking a class taught by a graduate student. We have something pretty unique to High Point called success coaches, and those are professionals who have their master's degree or higher who could be teaching, but instead have chosen to help our incoming freshman class kind of adjust to college, because it is a big change, as well as plan out your course schedule and help make sure that you're getting the resources you need across campus. And then last one is Project Discovery, which again is that program that helps you find your major if you're unsure what you want to major in. It's a great 9-step process that you'll work on with your success coach. For our unique educational experiences, High Point offers a experiential learning platform. So 25% of everything that you do at High Point will be experiential or hands-on learning. And some examples of that would be our access to industry leaders. So in this picture, you can see Byron Pitts, who is an ABC Nightline News anchor, and he works with our broadcasting and journalism students to them. We also have Joe Michaels, who worked for NBC for many, many years. He helped broadcast the Olympics and so on. Also, Steve Wozniak works with our students in our computer engineering program, and they actually built a self-driving golf cart last year, as well as many more. We also offer undergraduate research as early as your freshman year across all majors. You don't have to be a science major to do undergraduate research. as well as offer student teaching in local classrooms for our education majors, a crime house on campus for our criminal justice majors, and a stock trading room for our business majors. We have a very vibrant student life with 16 NCAA Division I teams in the Big South Conference, with over 200 campus clubs and student organizations, including fraternity and sorority life, which makes up about 30% of our campus, club and intramural sports, and multiple religious groups across campus. As for our applications, we are exclusive with the common application. We have a few different application plans. The first one being early decision, and that one, the deadline will always be November 1st. That one is our 100% committed application. So that's if you know you're 100% committed to High Point, you know we're your first choice, and you're coming, you want to be a Panther. So when you're applying that way, you're saying that you will take your application away from any other school if you are admitted to High Point. If you're not 100% sure about High Point, that is okay. I highly suggest our early action plan, which is our early non-binding plan. So there's no commitment when you apply that way. The deadline for that one's going to be November 15th, and you find out by November 16th whether or not you are accepted. As for our averages, so these numbers you see below here, these are our average for our admitted freshman class this past year. So those are not the minimums you have to get into High Point. Those are just our average middle ground areas. We are test optional. We have been for a couple years now. The only thing with that has changed this year is that we are now test optional for our higher level scholarships. Also, the way that we read our applications, we read them holistically, meaning that you are more than just the test scores and GPA to us. We do read your essay as well as your activities and involvement and your letters of recommendation. And we do take those into account when reading your application. As for next steps, I highly suggest coming down for a campus tour. We have campus tours 7 days a week, multiple a day. There's on Monday through Fridays, we have one every hour on the hour from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. If you can't come to campus, I completely understand. We are in the middle of a pandemic, so we do have a virtual tour on our website, as well as a virtual information session every single day. Another unique experience that we have is this thing called a Panther Perspective. So it's another virtual session that we have where we will have people from different areas on campus going a little bit more in depth about those specific programs. We also offer admissions interviews for our seniors. And lastly is to contact your counselor, and that is me. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out.
All right, thanks so much, Melissa, for sharing that information. And last but not least, we've got Bluefield College. Emily, go ahead and grab screen share. I won't share the schedule here, but just a reminder that you can ask your questions throughout the session. So Bluefield, as Emily's getting ready, make sure everything looks all pretty. Looks great. Go ahead and take it away. And don't forget you're on mute.
Thank you, Zach. I couldn't figure out how to unmute myself.
Got it.
All right, what's up, everybody? My name's Emily. I am the Transfer and International Admissions Counselor here at Bluefield, and I'm glad to have this opportunity to come talk with everybody, even though, like Melissa said, we are in the middle of a pandemic, so it's just nice to be able to talk to everybody. But let's get started. I know there are some burning questions. Where is Bluefield? What's Bluefield about? What kind of school is Bluefield? And I'm here to answer all of those. So we are a smaller school. We've got about 1,200 students on campus. That includes online, in-person, graduate, undergraduate, anything you can think of. That's pretty much all of us. We represent 32 states, 16 countries. Whether you're from down the street, if you're from across the globe, you're going to make the same amount of impact, and that's a big impact at Bluefield. We're going to know you by your first name. We're going to know your dog's name. We're going to know everything about you because it is such a tight-knit community, which is my favorite part. But we've got 40 plus academic programs. Those are programs range from STEM, liberal arts, pre-professional programs. And we are a Christ-centered learning community. Does that mean you have to be a Christian to come to Bluefield? Absolutely not. Does that mean all your staff and faculty on campus are going to be Christians? Absolutely. So you're going to experience Christ in one way or another. But that is as personal or as unpersonal as you want it to be. You will have to participate in some chapel experiences, but of course, like I said, you do not have to be a Christian to come to Bluefield. Here are our core values, our mission, all that kind of good stuff. Take a minute to read over that. I know some of the bigger questions that are probably coming in, which if you have any questions, drop them in the Q&A. I'd love to talk with y'all. Are like, what are our sports like? What do we have in the area? So this is a beautiful shot of our campus. It's pretty much the majority of our campus. Also, we are on 82 acres and we've got athletic facilities, whatever sport you can think of, we've got it. And the facilities are, if they're not on campus, they're literally a minute, 2 minutes away. So you won't have to worry about traveling to campus or anything like that. We also have a post office on campus, so you won't have to worry about like getting packages shipped somewhere, trying to find a post office. You can just walk right out of your dorm, go check your mail, go right back. We also have a program on campus where you don't have to buy your books. We're literally going to hand you a box of books at the beginning of the semester, say, here, study and do whatever you want with these books within reason. Then you'll hand those books back to us, same box, different box at the end of the semester, and you'll be good to go. Like so many of my colleagues before have said, the world's a little weird right now. So if you can't come to campus, that's totally okay. We want you to take our virtual tour. And I've also been doing like 1,000 Zoom calls, which I love. I just love talking to students, connecting with people. But feel free to reach out to that and maybe inquire and we can get some conversation started. Living on campus at Bluefield, we do have a lot of residency halls. They are men's halls, women's halls, apartment style living, dorm style living. They are also fully furnished, so you don't have to worry about lugging any kind of furniture or anything to Bluefield. You won't have to worry about that. Sports. I mentioned sports several times in this presentation for a reason. We've got a lot of sports opportunities. We've got co-ed sports. We also have an esports team. So if you want to compete, but you're completely not interested or good at physical athletics like I am, then you can do esports, which I think is really cool. We are also NAIA D1, Mid-South Conference, Appalachian Athletic Conference. We've got a lot of opportunities, whether you want to play or if you just want to cheer us on, you can totally do either. How much is Bluefield? So first, let me say off the top, 99% of our students at Bluefield receive some form of financial aid, and those scholarships that are able to be received by our students, whether you're a freshman, whether you're a transfer, citizen, international, they're stackable. So don't worry about saying, oh, well, I've only got an athletic scholarship. Can I get anything else? Yeah, absolutely. And we'd love to help you out with that. So this is what our fees are looking like right now. But if you want to get maybe something a little bit more personalized, feel free to visit that net price calculator and you can get something completely for you. If you're a high school senior, junior, sophomore, feel free to contact us about dual enrollment. It's only $100 per credit hour, which I cannot stress enough how beneficial that will be for you once you come to college to already have those credits under your belt. Is it required? No, but it's going to save you a lot of headache in the long run. And you're going to be getting a quality education at a much cheaper price. You can do it all from home. You can do it all online, which is super cool. Freshmen coming to BC, what are our requirements? So our requirements are a minimum GPA of 2.0, and we are currently working as test optional for this upcoming fall. Now going forward, that will be to be determined, but as y'all know, the world is ever changing day by day, so that's nothing new to us recently. I do want to recommend that the CLT, Classic Learning Test, is a test you can take from your own home, and you can do that online. So feel free to do that. You can turn that in, and we will accept that as a SCT or ACT requirement. If you want to reach out to us, feel free to go on our website, give us a call, shoot us an email. If you email us at that link, it'll come straight to my office, go over to which counselor it will be you'll need to talk to, and we can connect you there. Maybe you don't want to write all that stuff down. Pull your phone out, get the camera function going, literally just hold it over one of these QR codes, whether you want to inquire, whether you want to apply, and it'll take you directly to that page. So you won't have to worry about writing a link down, which even though I have an English degree, I misspell things so bad. If you're like me, then the QR code is perfect. But thank y'all for letting me come talk to you. I'm here literally almost every day with presentations. So just reach out to me and I look forward to getting something started. Thanks.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Emily, for sharing that information. I'm going to encourage all of my colleagues, feel free to turn your cameras on. Feel free to turn your microphones on. We're going to do a little bit of a round robin here. So I'm going to set us up so you can see all of our beautiful faces here. I'm going to ask a question of the group, and students, you are welcome to still submit your questions, but we're going to use this opportunity to go in the same order that you presented in. And my question to you all is, what is your most favorite thing that you love about your campus? So we're going to start with Cameron at Coastal Carolina University. What's your most favorite thing about Coastal Carolina?
I think my favorite part about Coastal Carolina is the fact that once you come to campus, we have what we call Feel the Teal. So we are very strongly customer service oriented. So no matter where you are on campus, if you pull over to the side of the road and you need help in figuring out directions and where to go, where you need to visit anybody, it could be a student, it could be a faculty member, it could be a staff member, it could be custodial, but everyone has gone through this Feel the Teal training. So they're always willing to help you. And if they don't know the answers, they're going to find out an answer for you. So it really is a great, and I don't know if it's because we are in the South and Southern hospitality, but majority of our students are coming from the North and they still want to go out of their way and show you where to go for this building or where to meet up. But everyone is just so nice and welcoming and willing to share their experience and show you where on campus you can find set locations. So I really appreciate that our students have gone above and beyond in assisting families and other people, other visitors coming to campus, showing them around campus. There was an opportunity for one of our tour guides, and yes, they are very familiar with campus, but they were not even working. And somebody pulled over to the side of the road and asked them where to be directed. And they walked them there. Like they walked while the car was driving to the side and just helped them get to their location. So I really do appreciate and value that our students, faculty, and staff really truly go above and beyond for our visitors.
Awesome, thanks. Autumn, what do you love the most? Most favorite thing about Mary Baldwin University?
So many things, but I think one thing that I absolutely love is one of our traditions, and that's Apple Day. So in the fall, what we do is we load up all the students early in the morning on buses, and we go to a local apple orchard and spend all morning picking apples. And then we bag all of them up and give them to the local food banks. And then all afternoon, we have a massive carnival on campus. So we turn our big parking lot into a carnival and have, you know, the jump bouncy houses and anything you can imagine, donkey rides, like anything you can imagine, we have it. And it's also when every club has a table. So they have a table or a tent, and every club is out there, you know, trying to get new people to join the club or trying to promote the club. And each club has an activity someone can do. And then we have like the Apple Day court, kind of like a homecoming court. And then the entire dining hall, everything is like apple related. So apple pie, apple custard, like any food you can imagine, they put an apple spin on it, and it's just like a huge festival day, and everybody wears matching shirts, and it's a lot of fun to be on campus.
Awesome, I love that. Thank you. Marshall, most favorite thing about Hampton-Sydney?
So I've got a favorite little tradition of ours. I believe that we make young men the best versions of themselves at Hampton-Sydney, and we have a tradition that kind of embodies that in a physical way. So the first night that our students arrive on campus, they sign our honor code. And it's like a 3-hour ceremony. It's coat and tie. You're like falling asleep by the end of it. But all of the freshmen, they walk out of our auditorium and they walk through our bell tower on campus. And as they walk through in that single file line, there's a plaque that they look up and they can see, and it's Latin. It says "Huc venite uvenes," which is enter here as youths, or enter as youth. 4 years later, we line them up kind of to go the opposing way through the bell tower. They're not supposed to set foot in it for those 4 years that they're there. But the day of graduation, they line up cap and gown, and they process to the graduation stage through the other direction of the bell tower. And there's another Latin phrase, ut etiates viri, which is so that you may leave as men. And when you come through our gates of campus, you see the full phrase, enter here as youth, so that you may leave as men. And I think that's just a really cool thing that we do on our campus.
Yeah, that's neat. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
All right, Melissa, High Point. What's your most favorite thing about High Point University?
I would definitely say my most favorite thing about High Point is the opportunities that we have here and just the access to the amazing people who will help you here. Like I mentioned in my presentation, you know, we have some great innovators in residence, being Steve Wozniak, Joe Michaels, all of them, but there are even more. So like the co-founder of Netflix, Mark Randolph, he works with our entrepreneurship students, as well as our sports executive in residence, Cint Marshall. She's the CEO of the Dallas Mavericks. And right before Corona hit, she took a group of sports management students down to Dallas with her to shadow her behind the scenes of a game, which is just such an amazing opportunity that I never would have thought of having as a student, because I unfortunately wasn't able to attend High Point, but just so many amazing opportunities that students have that you wouldn't normally think of, just because High Point has such a great reach with all of these amazing people in what we call innovators in residence to help our students get to that next level after graduation.
Awesome. Thank you. Emily, most favorite thing about Bluefield?
Well, after hearing everyone's, I have to say, I feel kind of bad about mine because everyone else is so prestigious. But my favorite thing is that there's always something, it's always something interesting and different. Like I came into work yesterday morning, my coworker came in right behind me and she said, I just almost touched a deer. And I was like, what are you talking about? There were deer on our campus. We have the best of both worlds because we're right in the heart of the mountains, but we're like an hour and a half away from some of those bigger cities. But she just walked in. She was like, I was literally a foot away from touching a deer. I just thought that was cool. There's always things like that. We've got raccoons on campus, squirrels, like you mentioned earlier, which made me think of it. But if you're on campus, you can get that hometown feel. You can play with a deer in the yard, probably safely, probably actually shouldn't touch the deer. But then you're like an hour and a half away from a bigger city. So if you do want to go like hit some of those restaurants, meet some other people, you can do that too.
Awesome. One more round robin lightning speed. What is some advice that you're going to give to seniors watching this live and seniors watching this on recording? Same order. Cameron, we'll start with you. What is some short advice that you're going to give to all the seniors?
Be yourself and find the school that's going to best benefit you and your future aspirations. It could be one school, it could be many schools, but at the end of the day, you got to choose what's greatest and best for yourself and your future.
Awesome. Thank you. Autumn, some tips for these seniors.
Go easy on yourselves. You guys are living through a pandemic and your whole world got rocked and you went virtual overnight, and understand that we understand what's going on, and take a breath and go easy on yourselves.
I love that. Thank you, Autumn. That's great. Marshall, some advice for these seniors.
My bosses are probably going to kill me for this advice, but I will stand by it. Get in a little bit of trouble. Like, do something, get in just a little bit, nothing that's going to put you in jail, but like, your freshman year, like have a little fun, do something, get in a little bit of trouble.
Awesome. Thank you. Melissa, a little bit of advice for these seniors.
I would definitely say ask for help. I know that this year is so weird, like Autumn said, so just ask for help, whether that be from your high school teacher, your high school counselor, or even your admissions counselors from the different schools you're looking into. We're here to help you, and we want to help you because we're also going through the same thing as you right now.
Perfect. And Emily, some advice for these seniors.
I would definitely say to just remember that faculty and staff at college, high school, whatever, especially college, we're people too. So like Melissa was saying, don't be afraid to reach out to us, make those kind of personal connections. We're here to help you out at the end of the day.
Excellent. Thank you all for sharing this information, not just of your institutions, but these tips for these seniors. Students, thank you for taking some time to learn something. I've learned a little bit of something. I hope you have as well. We all wish you are safe and healthy and well at this time. Feel free to reach out to all of these colleges with all of your questions. And thank you all so much for joining us. Have a great rest of the day. Take care. Bye-bye.